All right, it's that time of the week. Taking a look at the lifted van market, camper vans for sale. Not too many lifted vans for sale this week, but this week we'll take a look at a variety. Starting with a 2003 Astro all-wheel drive, $13,000, 165,000 miles. Astros are going for good coin these days. So, yeah, of course, all-wheel drive is going to cost more, but if you do want a two-wheel drive, you can lift it, and this might be the van for you. It's not quite full size, but it's bigger than mini. So it looks like a mini full size van. So I clicked on this one because I know this spot right away. I said, that's Anza Borrego. So right when I click on the next picture, there's the sculptures. I was just there like 2 months ago. So there's the sculptures, and then this is Fonts Point. So the mission with my van is to be able to handle a spot like Fonts Point. I think it's the perfect difficulty for a lifted two-wheel drive van. So I was actually out here twice in the last 3-4 months. Me and my dad went here on a Christmas weekend. He took his ZR to Colorado and I took my tracker. But my goal is to tow my tracker out here with my van, sleep out here in my van home base, and go off-roading in my tracker when I wake up. That's the dream. But I also want my van to have some fun too. So this is a very good course, like a 6 out of 10 in difficulty. Perfect terrain for a lifted van, two-wheel drive van. There's a lot of hard packed areas, but there's some clearance obstacles too to have some fun, especially when you go down into the canyon. See, you're in like little canyons, so it's fun coming down, and you need the clearance to get back up. So this is a really nice van build. So very simple, very clean, nice dog. So there you go. There's lift kits for the all-wheel drive and two-wheel drive Astros, and it has the 4.3 motor. Basically, the Chevy V8 with 2 cylinders cut off of it. All right, next one. I don't talk about Dodge vans too much, so let's give Dodge some love. This one's 14 grand. If you could knock off a few $1,000s, this is actually probably a really good deal. The only thing I don't like about Dodges is this era. They never offered the V10 in this era of van. So the biggest engine is the 5.9, and my parents had a 99 Durango with the 5.9, and it's a smaller vehicle than this, and that Durango got 10 to 13 miles per gallon. It got 13 miles per gallon going downhill, so it's just an inefficient engine. The Ford V10 and the Chevy GM 454 or the 8.1 big block, they have better fuel economy than this 5.9, so the Ford V10 is a 6.8, the 454 is a 7.4, and then GM had a 8.1 for a year or two. So that's my only complaint with the Dodge. And it's a unibody. That's why you don't really see it lifted. I've probably only seen one lifted. But this is a potentially good deal if you're not into the lift kits. It's a nice camper van, nice interior. It's got the high roof. So I noticed the Dodges tend to go cheaper than Fords and GMs, the same box style vans. I mean, that Astro we just looked at is about the same price for a much less van. So there you go, Dodge. And then this one, I was actually going to do this video a couple days ago. This one's pending. I saw this and I said, this one's going to sell fast. 115,000 miles. It has the 5.4, so it has the 5.4, which is the biggest V8 for the Econoline, because there's the 4.6 also. So looking at this van, I said, this van is clean, and it's a lift kit away from being perfect. Perfect interior, perfect build inside, nice and simple. So if you've been watching van videos for a long time like me, do you guys remember, Holdfast and Mike might remember this guy. This guy had a red shorty G10 or a G20 with like felt walls. It was a really simple build. Yeah, just remember that van. I miss the old days of YouTube when we saw stuff like that and it was less clickbait. But yeah, this one's pending in 4 days. Perfect price, clean build. It's not junk. Not overpriced, just the right price. Oh, I like that. He made the bathroom a separate room, so that's a really good idea. So just clean, man. Really good. Yeah, pending. Perfect price. 115,000 miles. It's got the 5.4. Okay, this one. I wanted to share this one because this one's 120,000 miles. 12,000 yeah, $12,000. So the guy selling this says he's a college kid and he needs a van or a vehicle that gets better fuel economy. I would keep this and make this my college rig. Just sleep on the campus, you know. So I'm gonna talk about this again someday. But in my early 20s, I worked at a hospital, and the reason I quit was because I was driving home. I was sitting in traffic every single day for like 4 hours. It was like the peak of traffic, and it took me like 4 hours to get home, and I couldn't stand it. So I quit. If I had a van though, back in the day, I would have just slept at the hospital. There was a shower and everything. So, it is what it is. That's a different topic, but this guy should keep this van. So like when I saw it was a college kid selling it, I said, man, you should just keep it. Sleep on the campus. Just stay at school. Okay, this one, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. Me and Holdfast were talking about this. And you know how you still see like Econolines that are 40 years old, like the previous generation? He was saying, do you think we're going to see Sprinters that are 30 years old someday? And I said, I really don't know. But this one's a 2012. I believe that's the first generation Sprinter when they first started popping up. It's still 58 grand, 261,000 miles. It's still expensive, but this is just not my style. I'm not even sure there's any Sprinter drivers who watch my channel. I've never seen, when I always say any Sprinter drivers watching me, none have ever said, yo, Sprinter driver checking in. It's got the bright interior. I mean, it is nice. Can't deny that. It's just not for me. Just the looks don't do anything for me. I just like the style of the old school box vans more than these. So on the same topic, when we're talking about this style of van that started popping up, Dodge has their own version, the Promaster. Very similar looking to the Sprinter. This one's 65 grand, but 6 years newer. So yeah, again, it's the Dodge counterpart of a Sprinter. Very nice, very big interior, tall interior, high roof. But again, it just doesn't do anything for me, man. Anyone who's watching this into the box vans, like the old school vans, who actually like this style, like, would you get this style? Like, if you have an Econoline or Express Savannah, would you like move up to this style? I don't know many who like this style, who have the traditional van, who say like, I want a Sprinter or a Promaster someday. And then if I'm going expensive, like that price range, I would go for this 4x4 Roadtrek. I like this way more than the Promaster. I showed this one last video, but I'm going to show it again. I like this more than the Sprinter or the Promaster. And you look at it, and you're going to be amazed at the interior. It just looks like a regular van. But when you look at the interior, yeah, it's a house inside. Not as big as the Promaster or the Sprinter, but look, it's basically a mini RV inside. So if I hit 100,000 subscribers, I might be rolling in something like this. 40 and low 40,000 miles, and then it's the 6.0 V8. So the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, I believe it has, does it have the 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder diesel? And I want to say if it's a small displacement, like 3.0. And then the Dodge Promaster, we'll look at the Dodge Caravan here in a second, but the Dodge, I just clicked off of the Promaster. Well, the Promaster, to my knowledge, has the Pentastar V6, the 3.6, which is funny because, like I said, if I had the money, I'd drive this over the Promaster or Sprinter. It's a traditional box van. Like I said, anyone into this style of van that wants a Promaster or Sprinter, I'm pretty sure there's not many of you who want one. So going to minivan builds, this little van has the same engine as that Promaster. So much less vehicle to move around. But I've been talking about it a lot lately. If I hit 20,000 subscribers, when I hit 20,000 subscribers, I'm doing a lifted minivan build. So this one's $7,800, 84,000 miles, 2015. I want to lift this thing. And it has the stow and go seating. My parents rented one of these when we went to the Grand Canyon back in 2012, and it had the Pentastar engine. And this van was quick, man. Almost a 300 horsepower van in that small of a body. And then another van I would consider for a lifted minivan build, Honda Odyssey, $6,500 and 94,000 miles. So these are the two I'm considering because they're priced great. They're great prices. If I hit 20,000 subscribers, my YouTube channel would fund this build. So either or, doesn't matter. An Odyssey or a Caravan. See, I'm already picturing how could I build this out. That's when you know you're addicted to vans. And then here you go. See, I could lift one of these vans. Toyota Sienna, Astro, Grand Caravan, Pacifica, Promaster, Mini Cooper. That's not a van. Honda Odyssey, GM full sizes, and Previa. So this here and this here, that's my choice for lifting a van. All right, everyone. That's the van market for the week. Hopefully next week we'll see some more lifted vans for sale.